welcome to episode 100 of Seamless Style, powered by Politics and Polaroids. I am your host, Mr. Parker. Episode 100. We made it. We made it. We did it. Episode 100. That's a great milestone because the vlog started before we knew anything about a pandemic. And then we got hit with a pandemic. So there was definite ups and a whole bunch of downs when it came to that stretch of the pandemic that we're still technically in, but it does look like we might be reaching some type of light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully that light is not an 18-wheeler carrying nuclear weapons known as a new variant. However, that said, we have made it to episode 100. So what I decided to do for episode 100 is to use the footage that I attained from Concord Fashion Week's men's Dapper panel. Alicia Ziegler is the head of Concord Fashion Week, and I have been a member of her men's Dapper panel 4 of the past 6 years, or 3 of the past 5 years. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go back and look at various photos and pictures and emails to actually have that number. But it's either 3 of the past 5 years or 4 of the past 6 years. 1 year she didn't have the panel at all because of COVID, which I think was 2019. And then 2020, there were so many restrictions that I just wasn't willing to participate. And that's a regret that I'll have to live with, because it was a pretty awesome experience, nonetheless, even though the gentleman had to wear masks and there was some social distancing and but this particular men's Dapper panel was pretty cool. I met 2 new gentlemen that are in the Charlotte area that are fashion and style forward, 2 great guys. The third gentleman, who also doubled as the moderator, I had known him from a couple of previous men's Dapper panel, and he's a great guy named Derek Johnson. He's a great guy, and so it's good to see him again, along of course with Alicia and her staff. So I took the footage that I filmed, and I did did small editing, because it was a pretty decent conversation all the way through, and it ended up being over an hour, and I don't care. And hopefully you will enjoy the entire hour and not get bored with it. The men's Dapper panel was streamed live. From what I understand, the numbers were pretty amazing, pretty significant, in the thousands as far as those that watched. So that's great for something that's really just started and is getting bigger every year. But yeah, so we're gonna go into that. I'll give you deets on my outfit really quick, but the entire 100th episode will be the men's Dapper panel. But I threw on the polo crested hard bottom loafers, did a little polish job to it. If you recall, that's what inspired the most recent BTS, was the fact that I used these in episode 99, I think it was, or maybe 98, I can't remember. And although they had a great warning look, they did need to be polished a little. So I polished them up, put those on for the day. A pair of Argyle socks, wine based, with navy, gold, and college gray. I went with these seersucker shorts with a black watch pattern on it, so we are pattern mixing. Move up further, I have on a chambray club collared dress shirt, a waistcoat, a tweed waistcoat, Elgin pocket watch. The tweed waistcoat is blue label. No, yeah, it's blue label. One of these is blue label, one of these is rugby. The coat is blue label, so this waistcoat is rugby. Rugby waistcoat, along with this satin jacket, rowing jacket, New York on the back and on the front, New York crew, rowing crew satin collegiate jacket. It's kind of like a varsity spring look. Varsity spring look for high school or college back in your 50s and 60s. So it's Ivy inspired, it's varsity inspired, but it's definitely not modern day. It's definitely a vintage look. No need for a watch because I have my Elgin pocket watch, and then I completed the look with my gray Polo blue label tam. Cocked it to the side to give it a more Chicago look, and that's my outfit of the day. Ensemble of the fragrance of the ensemble. I'm so excited about 100. I can't even talk straight. Fragrance of the ensemble is the new Polo Green. Now, I was torn between Polo Sport. Safari was, I narrowed it down to Safari as well, but I went with Polo Green because I just felt like Safari was a little too strong and Polo Sport was a little too soft. So I wanted something with some strength, but not too strong. So I went with the new Polo Green, which is perfect. The fragrance of the ensemble for the ensemble that I wore in the men's Dapper panel is Purple Label, and you will see why I went with Purple Label once you watch the episode. And last but not least, I went with a wool black watch tie. So today in the Carolinas, it's only going to get up to about 60. It was sunny, so not partly cloudy. There was no real overcast. It's sunny today. However, there is a nice little gust of breeze. So I was out earlier today, and I almost could have put on some pants. It's a little chilly today. Anywho, without any further ado, man, let's get into this episode. Episode 100, man. Y'all ready? So am me too. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. We are here. I'm so glad that you guys have joined us here. We are at the 2022 Dapper Men Fashion Panel, part of Concord Fashion Week. I'm surrounded by these esteemed gentlemen. So happy to be here to serve on the panelists. My name is Derek Johnson, also known as Derek Grown Man Style. I am a menswear content creator. I'm a portrait photographer. I have the distinct honor of being one of the contract photographers with Miss Alicia as a part of Intro. I am a father of 3 wonderful, wonderful children, husband to 1 beautiful wife, Kenya. I love you. Thank you for allowing me to be the stylish guy that I am. And professionally, I'm a product director at a great company called InView. So yes, I have a lot of hats that I wear. But guess what? I love talking about fashion and style, so I'm so happy to be here, guys. Very excited. So look, we're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, I wanna say a couple of thank yous, and I have my notes, so you guys stick with me. I wanna make sure I cover all my bases. First of all, we definitely wanna thank Concord Fashion Week. It's so important, I think, to really include men's fashion. It's often overlooked. A lot of times we focus on the models, focus on women's wear. But guess what? It is okay for guys to be dapper, and I think there's a whole range of discussion topics that we can really talk about. So I'm really happy that we actually have this forum to talk about style, so you all can ask us questions about style and fashion specifically for guys. Ladies, if you're watching, you may have a guy sitting right beside you or nearby who might need to be listening in. So tap him on the shoulder, tell him to pay attention, because we're gonna be dropping some knowledge tonight, guys. So again, we want to really thank Concord Fashion Week for allowing us. So on the panel, we're going to announce everybody and let everybody introduce themselves, but we've got some old heads and we've got some new faces. So we're really excited just to have new fresh blood. It changes every year, but the joy and the opportunity to talk about style is really at the foundation of this event. So I'm really, really excited. So listen, guys, this is meant to be interactive. I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be answering questions. I'm going to be asking these guys questions. But we want to hear from you as well. So please, please, please put your questions in the comments. We want to hear from you guys. We're really excited to see what's on your mind. If you got some challenging questions for us, go ahead and throw it on us. We're just really anticipating and looking forward to a great time. So be sure to follow these guys. Make sure you follow them, support them. My man right here, I've already thought in my mind I got to give him a call because he's a custom clothier. I need some custom wear, so we're going to talk really soon. But make sure you follow all of us. Many of us, again, are business owners, got our own brands, and even if you're just looking for a way and information about, getting into content creation, I'm trying my best to rise as quickly as I can as a masterful content creator. But today I'm always willing to share information and what I know. So definitely follow us. I want to thank this establishment. I hope I don't mess up this name. Bonobos. Did I say it right? Yes. Thank you so much Mike, for allowing us to use this spot. And guess what, guys? If you come here and shop, you get 25% discount. That's big time. So definitely come. This place is in Atherton Mills on South Boulevard. So it's very busy outside, but it's very stylish in here. Make sure you come down, check them out. Again, 25% discount. Just mention Concord Fashion Week or Dapper Men's Panel, and you can save shopping here. So again, we really want to thank this establishment for for hosting us here for this event. Oh, Saturday night, be there. Tickets are going quickly. You do not want to miss the runway show. Don't walk up to the door thinking you're going to get in, because that's not going to happen. So make sure you get your tickets. Everyone who walks through the door must have a ticket. So if you're a family of 15, that means you need 15 tickets. Even your baby. So make sure that you come on in and get your tickets as quickly as possible. I want to thank my man who's taking pictures as we speak, Carlos Melendez of Melendez Photos, for handling all the AV as well as live photography. So thank you, sir. That's my man. We work together with Alicia. We're a dynamic duo. I really appreciate this brother, and be on the lookout for some of the photos from this. Let me make sure I captured everything. I think I did. So let's get started, guys. So we're going to go around the horn. I've already introduced myself. Again, I'm Derek. I'm your moderator tonight. We're going to start on my left, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. What I want you to do is tell the people a little bit about yourself. Tell them about your look and why you chose it for tonight.
My name is Mike Parker. Most of my social media handles are at Mr. Parker 1967. No, I was not born in 1967, but that's the year that the company Ralph Lauren was launched, and I am a Ralph Lauren brand ambassador and collector. I am an image and style consultant. I run a successful style vlog that posts every Sunday on YouTube called Seamless Style. I'm working on a podcast. I've written a few screenplays that I'm in talks with getting turned into movies. I am a father of 4 grown, somewhat amazing kids. As far as my ensemble today is, I'm trying my best to embrace spring. If you're a collector of clothes, and especially Ralph Lauren, then you're probably a lover of layers. So the hotter it gets, the less layers you can put on. So I'm embracing spring, but I'll forever hate summer. So I figured I'd do a little bit of splash of color, just a little bit. So I broke out the orange espadrilles. Nice cotton linen blend suit with notched lapels, French cuff shirt. Nothing special.
I like it. Welcome again, Mr. Parker.
Yes, sir.
One of the old heads, has been a regular panelist for many, many years. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Derek. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my ensemble. Normally, I was kind of thinking through like, what do I want to do? Do I want to throw a splash of color? But honestly, I just said, I want to see how I can rock a monochromatic look. So I chose blue because blue to me is one of those versatile colors where all the different shades, they just work. So I just chose a nice slate blue pants. This is 5-pocket pants. I don't know about you guys, and maybe we'll talk about it later, but I prefer 5-pocket over like slanted pockets. And I'll tell you why later. But obviously this shirt to me pops because you've got the contrast blue buttons, the inner contrast. And so again, I wanted to play with blues. And really the centerpiece are these babies.
Oh yeah.
Nubuck Bro boots from Beckett Simon. They're an amazing shoe brand. I was really excited. This is actually the first time I put them on. So I'm really excited. Obviously, you got to go socks and everything. So again, I was really going for a blue look for this particular event.
I like it.
My name is Julio Ortiz. I am the owner of Troop and Bell Custom Clothiers. We've been in existence for about 2 years now. Me and my wife, we sat down and we just said, yo, we're gonna go for it. I've been in the fashion industry for almost a decade now, working for other companies. So we just decided it was time for us to take our talents elsewhere, just like my man Brian. So our name is actually derived from our 3 children. So we have Trey, Cooper, and Carmen Isabella. So Troop and Bell was that amalgamation of their names. So it has an even more special meaning for us because this is literally family owned. My ensemble tonight is our aqua blue, Troop and Bell aqua blue. Got a nice little pop of color in there. So just like my man,
Nice.
I'm trying to welcome in spring myself.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm not usually a color guy, but I said, you know what, let me try the aqua blue today. So threw on some little splash of color today. So yeah.
Welcome.
All right. Well, my name is NFL. I go by the name NFL, not to be confused with the football team, the Football Association. Basically, I run an organization of international structured finance and project development coordination globally. My company name is NFL Strategic Alliances. We've been in this for about going on 22 years now. And we're basically responsible for a lot of the development around the Charlotte area, a lot of the development in other parts and pockets of up and coming jurisdictions around the United States and other parts of the world as well. So we have our hands on a little bit of that. My style per se is more or less urban contemporary is what I like to call it. I kind of created that. Basically, I'm rocking like the Michael Kors sport coat. Basically, the same thing with the shirt, Michael Kors, button down, the watch, JBW, and obviously I like to use specific. I play off of a lot personally, off of a lot of street and a lot of casual, like the blend it. And sometimes I go specifically business casual. Sometimes I look like my man Julio, and so I'll mix it up. And I'm obviously rocking the Louboutins, my favorites. I'm a Louis fan, And so basically same thing with the jeans. I like to kind of mix up my jeans. I like the distressed look. Sometimes I go straight up and down with it. But that's pretty much my style. My Instagram handle is EL_Sue, SUI_Juris, JURIS, formerly ArtZar.
Yeah.
And
Switching it up.
ArtZar, ART, and then space CZAR for my YouTube. I do a lot of reviews on there as well.
Okay. So as you guys can see, we have a very distinguished panel. Again, so honored to be sitting around you guys talking about style. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So let's start by talking about style right here in Charlotte. We're in this beautiful South End area. Me and my man were just talking about the history of Charlotte and how it's changed. And I've been here for 22 years, and I remember when the Hornet Stadium was out off of Tyvola, and I remember when Pineville was not Pineville, was basically farmland. Yes. And I just remember and see how much Charlotte has changed. But I wonder, and we can get into this and talk about it, how does Charlotte rank and stack up as it relates to fashion and style? Obviously we've got Atlanta down south, you've got, places in New York, and then you've got, places way out west. So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about, what are your thoughts about just general style in Charlotte? Are we lacking? Should we be further along? Give me your thoughts about style here in Charlotte, the fashion industry, and specifically talk about menswear. Some of the things that you see related to men or don't see related to men. We'll start over here, man. Mr. Parker.
Charlotte is behind. And I think,
let's go.
but I think it's more so a regional thing. I think it's more so southern men maybe behind somewhat. There's a lot more blue collar work in the South, and so a guy that doesn't have to buy a suit probably is not going to buy a suit.
Correct.
I would like to see it move further. That's why I always try to do these panels, because Alicia she supports her. This is her life. Fashion style is her life, and I'm here for that. Anybody that's like-minded in that manner. But I think I don't know. It's just outside of Atlanta and maybe Miami, the southern region of the country, especially the southeast region, is just behind on the whole when it comes to fashion. A lot of people look at when Cam was here. So many people thought his outfits were outlandish or crazy. I thought outside of maybe some of his hats, but other than that, I felt like he was pretty on brand. I thought the things that he did were pretty special. There was a few things I don't, but for the most part, Cam was on point. But it's just when you're different, then that could be a positive or a negative, just depending on who looks at it. I'm not even sure, and I know this is a men's panel, I'm not even sure if the women in the South are completely in tune with fashion and style. Fashion is, forget fashion, with style.
Yeah.
I think it's just the region and how people were raised. But I also do see, like my oldest is 23 years old. So I see his generation is really starting to embrace style and fashion a little more. I had 2 Zoom clients last week. One was my age. The other one was 28. And he was already ready to get out of his demographic as far as style and advance a little more. And all of my clients are looking to get to the point that they see where I am, where we are, or whatever.
Right.
So most of the time, people aren't willing to pay my fee if they are content with however they dress.
Right.
But this guy was 28 years old, and that threw me. I was pleasantly surprised, because that just shows me that the youth are even taking advantage. And then I have I can talk. I have a 3-year-old grandson. You should see the what's it called? I talked about it on my blog. It'll come back to me, but you should see how different he acts. He's the Tasmanian devil in the street fight. Literally, figuratively. But when he dresses up for a shoot,
Chill mode.
it's different.
Nice.
He knows he's doing something special, and nobody told him that.
Right.
He knows he's doing something special, and he's not gonna. He acts like he should act when he's wearing a suit. So
You bring up a really good point about the area and how people were raised. I think about my own kind of style upbringing. It took me a while to transition, even from, like, for example, straight cutting pants to slim cut, and it was for years. I thought, like, why would I want to wear tight pants? I remember like wearing baggy pants and then buying like a size 40 waist. I have never in my life been a size 40 waist. But I would buy double-edged shirts, and I just thought that was the way you were supposed to dress. I remember seeing guys tease other guys whose quote-unquote pants were a little bit high. I mean, if like a peak of sock showed, you're getting teased, you're getting talked about. And that was what I was raised on. And I think it is somewhat regional, and it's based on how you're brought up. To your point about Cam, a lot of his stuff, to each his own. But I think, if he was somewhere else, I think he'd blend in. And really regionally, like even in our workplaces, and we'll talk about this more, like, do we stick out? Do we stick out because it's just that, everybody else around us didn't really care that much?
Yeah.
Not because we're being outlandish, but because we've taken the time to just like be intentional about everything we do. Like thinking about, okay, I'm not just gonna put on a suit jacket, but I'm also gonna accent it with lapel pin and pocket square. Just little things like that I think are maybe cultural, maybe regional. There's definitely a lot of room for us to grow, but again, events like this, people listening in and participating, I think will help us continue to advance as a city and as a region, because Charlotte is by far growing. It's going quickly. It's not as big and crazy as Atlanta, but we're starting to carve a little niche out for ourselves. And I think, again, things like this and the good work that Alicia is doing in the fashion industry, I think is going to help tremendously.
I've been here for 4 years now, so I'm originally from New York. So I guess I always kind of compare up top to here.
Yep.
So I would definitely agree that it's not as forward as it should be. Like you said, Charlotte's such a growing city, the style should grow with it as well.
Absolutely.
And I was actually having this conversation with my little sister this morning, just saying how hard it is to go into a store and find something that really, piques your interest, and not having to look like someone else.
Right.
So yeah, I think the style could progress a whole lot more, but it is conversations like this. This has to happen for people to see us together, to be able to kind of see or sense where the fashion and the style should be going. And I think one thing about the younger generation now, because social media is such a fixture in their lives, they see style in different ways. So now you've got style influencers, you've got people that can show them what it is to really put something together.
Right.
So now they're not worrying about, man, I don't know what to do. I have somebody that I can go to. I have an image consultant on Instagram right now that I can search. I can search and say, find me a style consultant. Your name pops up.
Right.
Find me a style influencer. Your name pops up.
Yeah.
You have this access, and they're using it.
Right.
People like, well, I would say like us. I'm a little younger than y'all. But people like in our position, they're not going to humble themselves that much to take from somebody else so that they can go further.
Right.
So I think that the younger generation, they don't care.
Right.
If they see something they like, they're gonna emulate it. So I think as Charlotte grows, people like us need to have conversations, need to go into different places and to really, push the culture forward. I mean, there's a bunch of clothiers here in Charlotte, but you really don't have somebody that has the market corner. We really don't know too many names.
Right.
So, it's time for us, take our rightful spot and push the culture and push style forward, because Charlotte deserves that.
Yes.
This is a place that I have 3 kids, me and my wife. Hey babe, me and my wife, we love it here. So like we want, we're building, we're putting roots in.
Yes.
So I want to see Charlotte grow, because this is a place, I want to die here. I want to live and die here because I love this place.
Yeah.
So I also want to see the style get elevated. So I think, there's definitely room to grow.
Nice.
I'm going to piggyback on what he said about the way that the city is actually beckoning for more styles, beckoning for more trendsetters. Like my man Mr. Parker said earlier, the city is a little behind in the sense that it's just coming on to its own in terms of the population. Its demographic is growing.
Yeah.
It's catching on. It's not where it needs to be, and it's a long way from where it's going to be.
Right.
I think we're like 50 years behind like New York City, maybe 30 years behind Chicago, maybe 15 to 20 behind Atlanta. But in terms of the actual growth of people from these other regions of the country and parts of the world, I mean, some of my clients are actually from Paris and Berlin and places like that. They bring a whole different style palette to the city and to different interactions. And I remember growing up, I grew up here in Charlotte, born and raised, actually, I was raised in Charlotte. This town has actually embraced the cultural shift. You can actually see it. And I remember walking uptown in the square when I was about 13, 14 years old, and all I saw was the bankers with the suits on.
Yeah.
And there were some uptown clothiers down there at the time. All they would do is they would just go straight black suit, blue suit, boardroom material, that type of thing. No one was really putting a twist to it. Like my man Mr. Parker's got the orange playing off of the the cream. I want to go to the cream pitch.
Mhm.
And he said, my man Derek is playing the blue, and my man here is playing the what color is this? Aqua. You really didn't see a lot of this back in the early '80s, '90s. It's just pretty much drab. But now it's starting to come into its own. It's starting to roll over a little bit, and you now see the youth. The youth are still on this street dynamic. You know, they're into the tight pants and all of that, and swag for the younger generation is nothing like we would like it to be.
Right.
We like to rub off on them a little bit.
Right.
I remember about 5 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, my son used to roast me about my pants. He said, "Oh, what kind of pants are those?" And that was just a different me. But as I started studying and following guys online like all of you, I've picked up little pieces over time and created my own system. So that's kind of where I've gone with it. So, yeah.
Two things before you go.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chicago.
Yeah.
When you talking about city, Chicago does not get enough credit
Oh,
for
yeah.
its style.
Absolutely.
In my humble opinion, I could be completely off, but I feel like the town or the driver, whatever you want to call it, was made popular because of those cats in Chicago in the 80s and 60s. And that's just a historical thing. And then the other thing, I wasn't sure, but when you said you thought about a splash of color for the day, and that blue suit, which is color, but I knew then you were from New York.
Yeah.
Because when you go to New York, you don't see colors to that effect, except for in the summer. But fall, winter, you see the navies, you see the
Yes.
grays, you
Earth
see
tone.
the black. Yes, absolutely. So I kind of figured, yeah, he's definitely a northern.
We put the colors down here a lot.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
Yeah, we bring the colors more on this side.
So we've talked a little bit about kind of where we think Charlotte is. Obviously, there's some room to improve. Let's talk about how to do that, right? You know, we're not gonna have all the answers here, but you know, I'd love to hear you guys' ideas. You know, for me, and we've mentioned it a little bit, I think networking is so important. Me and my man met online, literally. I
Yes.
invited him, it was very last minute, I invited him today, and thank you so much, I'm glad you were able to make it. But, you know, we met online, and it's nothing better than like, okay, I'm meeting somebody that, you know, I may have never known or met.
Absolutely.
Except we find a common theme, right? And we start talking about style. Then we eventually find out we both like weapons. You know, we end up at the gun range. And so, you know, little things like that. I think networking is so important to help Charlotte and the region get to where we want to go. So I'm interested to hear how you guys, you know, in your own personal lives, whether it be in your personal activities or even on your workplace, network and try to progress and move forward the things that you guys love so much about style. Start with you, Leo.
So I have a real good friend. He's a clothier down in Atlanta, and he's been my real network for like the past 2 years. I'm literally on the phone every morning, 9 o'clock never fails. We're talking style. We're talking about what our next iteration of whatever looks that we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to put lookbooks together. But I think networking is important because you're able to get other perspectives.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's what style is. Style is a matter of perspectives coming together and you finding what works for you. So it's never a good thing for a man to be alone. We always talk about a man, is an island unto himself. But it's important, especially with style, because I can have a conversation with you, and I can say, okay, now I know what I should be wearing, or I see your outfit, I'm like, yo, okay, there's things that I can play with, with this look. I see your outfit. There's things that I can play with. I see your outfit. So networking allows for you to have a different, a perspective shift.
Absolutely.
Because it allows other perspectives in. I think that's one thing that most people lack style because they're either not well traveled or they don't network.
Nice.
Now everyone can't travel, of course.
Exactly.
We're in the season of COVID. Things are a little crazy. Finances may not permit you to travel. But if you're able, to network with some good people, if you're able to even get online, and strike up a conversation with somebody, never be afraid. The reason why I'm on this panel is because I literally messaged the Instagram page like, hey, do you have enough people?
Nice.
And they're like, yo, let's get it together, you know. So that's exactly why I'm here. Now I have my network has expanded.
Exactly.
So now I'm even better.
Yeah.
So things that I missed, I'm looking at myself today and I'm like, man, there are things that I missed with the look because I'm looking at y'all. So now my style is literally progressing and enhancing. You know, being an entrepreneur, I'm not in the workplace. So I have to seek out my network. So these moments, and if you are an entrepreneur and you don't find yourself, always having somebody around you, just reach out to somebody. Strike up a conversation. Social media is a powerful tool, and it allows us to feel people out. You don't have to, sit in front of them all the time.
Exactly.
Like you said, you guys met online, and now you're good friends. They were outside talking, for 20 minutes just about one subject. But this is what happens with style.
Yes.
When I'm able to connect with other people, my style evolves, my style progresses, my style, gets even better. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't be afraid to network, because network equals style.
Nice.
Absolutely. Mr. Parker, what's the head,
I know it's gonna sound crazy, but my mind went 4 different places when you was talking. Repeat the question.
What are some
That's a good thing.
What are some of your strategies for networking? Obviously, not only expanding your own kind of repertoire for style, but also just progressing the entire kind of menswear, that whole industry. What are some of the things that you do or you found effective as it relates to networking?
I think the biggest thing when it comes to style and fashion is being humble. Somebody mentioned that earlier. If it's one thing I cannot stand, it's a person that's not humble. It's okay to appreciate whatever it is you bring to the table, because I'm that guy too.
Right.
Nobody owes you, man, you look nice today.
Exactly.
Or nobody owes you any compliment. So, when you get those things, be humble about it, be appreciative. That opens the door for further conversation.
Right.
I went to this little tuxedo place for something. Oh, their aesthetic. I saw their aesthetic through the window, and I wanted to go in there and take some pictures. So when I came out, a guy was coming in with his, I guess, wife or whatever. He was like, "Okay, bro, I see you doing. You know how
Yeah.
But instead of me being, I appreciate it. I was like, man, thank you, bro. I ain't got, you know what I mean?
Right.
And from that, he ended up getting a call from me.
Nice.
Has he contacted me yet? No, but he will.
Right.
He will, because he'll remember, or she'll
Exchange.
remind him.
Yep.
Hey, we got that cotillion next month, and you don't have it. Why don't you? Boom. I got the card right here. Boom. Call hit it. So I think it's just a matter of, from my standpoint, it's being approachable.
Absolutely.
I'm 6'4", fluctuate between 220 and 240. And my resting face ain't really, you know what I mean? My resting face is really not that approachable. But I also took the time, because I know myself, I know my limitations. So I took the time to study body language, so that when I was working for Ralph Lauren, when you came in the store, I was usually the first person somebody came to, no matter where I was in the store, because of my body language. The little bit of smile I will give you, but my body language, I learned how, how to stand, so that, hey, anytime you need me, I'm here.
Right.
And more often than not, that works. So it's just a matter of knowing your strengths and limitations, and working on your limitations as best you can without sacrificing who you are, and always be humble.
Nice. That's good.
Very
That's
well
good.
said. You know what? I'm gonna jump on something else. You guys keep giving me diving boards, so I'm gonna jump off of it. Mr. Parker said basically, it's basically a micro or macrocosm, I would like to say, of which he said when you met the gentleman, instead of saying or basically playing off with his energy, like thanks, man.
Right.
You engaged him, and by engaging people, you feed the fire. There may be a desire in there that he was afraid to tell you about, unless you would fan that flame. And by him saying, "Yo, that's nice," and you actually engaging him like that, that basically, of course, warranted him to come to life. And he saw that you were basically engaged with his response to you. So basically, if we had more of that interaction with people, instead of just cold shouldering or whatever have you. It's going to turn people off. It's going to make them say, oh, and they're going to castigate you and put you in these boxes.
Yes.
Oh, you can't really talk to that guy. He looks like this, and don't approach him.
And people already feel like
Yeah.
people in the fashion industry are pretentious all the time.
Oh,
Stuck
exactly,
up,
snobbish
yeah.
or whatever have you.
Exactly.
But when you are approachable and you have a distinguished characteristic about yourself, and people actually can connect to that, you never know. Like he said, you have customers coming back forever. You give them a card, and that's happened to me on multiple occasions. I'll give
Right.
people, oh, that's a nice style. That's a nice. This is nice. Even we do it
Exactly.
a lot of the time. And you'll get people kind of following him. They'll see him and say, oh, yeah, they'll say something, and that interaction just feeds people. It feeds the want for people. People actually do have style in their heads.
Right.
They're just afraid to display it because
Yeah.
they're fearful of what people might think, what they might say. And you just have to be, like Julio says, you just have to be willing to let it come out. You just have to let that style sense in you permeate, and maybe it'll catch on. Some people will get it.
Man, that's a great point you just made. People are always thinking about style.
Yes.
Either they are thinking about it for themselves,
Mhm.
they're looking at someone else,
Yep.
and even if they're thinking something negative, it's probably from a place of, man, I wish I had the courage to wear
Courage,
that.
yes.
Or they're getting ideas. We're all consuming style. We're
Mhm.
always consuming it, thinking about it, and it just so happens that a few of us, we consume it and then we get it back.
Of course.
Right? Some people just consume it and say, oh, no, that's never for me, or, oh, that's too much, or, I got to be a real man with, one pair of pants, and, But I think as we all continue to consume, at some point, you think, you know what? I can do a little bit more.
Yes.
I can, like you said, play off what this brother had.
Mhm.
I would have never thought about wearing that. I would have never thought about wearing
Me
that.
either.
And like you said, as we continue to network, we continue to evolve. We consume, we evolve, and it's a journey. Like we're all on a journey, whether we want to admit it or not. So really good talk, guys. I mean, great insights. So we're going to pivot a little bit and talk about style in the workplace, or style, even for entrepreneurs, how you show up.
Oh, yes.
Now, as you guys know, I kind of feel like we're at an inflection point because we're slowly but surely coming out of COVID, right? All of us spent basically the last 2 years in what? Joggers and slides, and maybe a wife beater in the house. So much so that I kind of feel like on some levels the industry is trying to move us there, right? They're calling it the work from home athleisure, and brands are jumping all over it, and I don't fault them, right? I do not fault them at all. But as the world opens up and as more offices open up, as your appointment book starts to fill up, what are some of the things that you guys are seeing? Are you seeing that well, let me ask you this. Are you in support of this move back to kind of a more formal, not necessarily a whole suit and tie, but a more formal appearance for work or meetings? Or are you embracing the athleisure kind of trend that's out there? What are your thoughts? Start with you.
Okay. Well, coming from that perspective, see, I'm a business traveler. I do a lot of business travel across the country, moving around a lot, so I get to see a lot of different people from a lot of different places. And they usually, some people are bold enough to carry the style into the airport. Some people are leisurely traveling. They'll wear slides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was always told, of course, you're the average of the 5 people that you're around. You're pretty much the most. You're the average of these people. And so the people I'm always around, they are very fashion forward. It's nothing less than what we see here.
Right.
And sometimes they'll step it down. But when you see other people out there, I try to be the average or the difference of those people that I represent
Right.
in the I can't call it the workplace, but let's say the environment.
Yeah,
that I'm
the
in.
work environment.
The work environment. I carry that with me wherever I go. Today, I'm more dressed downish than I typically am. Most of the time I'm a little bit more up. But when I travel, I try to be at least here or a little higher, and I want that to rub off on some of the youth. Because I'm not elderly guy. I'm not a young guy, kind of on the fence a little bit.
Midway.
And so some of the youth still look at me like all my children, they all grown. It's like my man, he's got grown children. I have grown children. And they all have their friends. They all come over and say, oh, can you show me how to put this together? Can you show me how to rock this suit? What kind of tie is good with this and that? So I figured that if I could rub off on my children's friends, it probably will carry the same mental, connection
Yeah.
to some of the people out there, other kids. Because I see people, the young guys, they'll stop and they'll go, especially the guys that kind of pants, I'll be like, pull them up, man. Let's make a statement about how we look, because it means something.
Absolutely.
Your image is everything, and that's kind of where I'm.
That statement, it's an understated word, I think, because I'm a clothier, so of course I'm good with the athleisure work from home because we can make that too. So if we make that,
Yes.
we can make that too.
Right.
Yes.
The hustler, apparently.
Yeah, listen, by any means necessary, we get it.
Right.
But I think there's something that says more about a man who knows how to put that formal situation together.
Absolutely.
Because it's not easy.
Absolutely.
It's not just something that you can just wake up and say, you know what, I'm just gonna throw this on. There's effort that goes into this. Like we all thought about, okay,
Absolutely.
what statement do I want to make as I am on this panel?
Planning and thought. Yeah.
So for me, it would be crazy for me to be a clothier, and I came in here with a Ralph Lauren suit on. Why would I not wear my own stuff?
Of course.
Because that's the statement that I want to make to people.
Right.
If I like to wear it, you're gonna love to wear it.
Absolutely.
So I have to always show that I can, wear my product, and that's one of the most important things. Anytime I'm, in any appointment, I'm suited and booted all the way up. I have on a suit. I've got on shoes. If I'm wearing braces, I got on, I'm literally wearing everything so that when I take off my jacket, I can show you what I can do with the jacket.
Absolutely.
So my favorite thing with jackets, I do a half line jacket. So my jacket's not fully lined in the back because I sweat.
Yeah.
So now I can talk to guys and say, hey, if you run hot, I've got something for you. We can do a half line jacket, but we still keep it very, you wouldn't know that the back of my jacket has nothing on it.
Right. Nice.
Because this shows you, oh yeah, you got some lining in there.
Yeah.
But there's, little nuances that you can have. The statement that I want to make is my product is the best product out there.
Walk 'em
So
deal.
yeah, if I don't wear it
Right.
and make that statement, no one
It'll
else
be
is
a
gonna
hard
wear it.
sell.
But the athlete, I'm from New York, so I can put on some, we call them uptowns, call them Air Forces, but I can put on some uptowns, I can put on some Jordans, I can do all of that, put on some Timbs and dress down. But if I really want to make that statement, and not saying that you can't make a statement in that,
Yep.
but I want to make a different statement. I want to let you know that I mean business every time I walk in this room.
Yes, sir.
That no matter where I'm at, boardroom, if I'm going into cigar lounge, I want you to know when I walk through this door, this young dude, he got his stuff together.
Nice.
Very well said.
So one of my philosophies is, look good, feel good, do good. You just like you just said, you can look good in an athleisure, but I think it kind of comes down to your style DNA. I think all of us kind of have a style DNA. Some people can rock an athleisure look and it just look like polished and put together. But I think as my style journey has progressed, I've just always felt comfortable. Like I call a sports jacket or blazer my cape. Like it's when I put on a sports jacket, I just feel different. I feel different, and I work in a corporate environment. We don't have a formal or really informal dress code, so I've defined my own dress code, and it's kind of become my calling card. People expect for me to come in there dapper.
What is he wearing today?
Exactly. So much so is I took off my jacket and put it in the car one day, and I didn't realize it, but my pocket square had fallen out. The CFO of the company messaged me, and he's like, "Does this belong to you?" I said, "Yep." He said, "I knew it. No one else. This couldn't have belonged to no one else."
It's got your name on it.
Exactly. So people begin to know you, and your brand can speak without you ever having to say a word. And so I've just always tended towards the athleisure. Part of the style journey, though, is also challenging yourself. So I'm kind of challenging myself. I work in youth ministry, and so if I'm doing a youth event, I'm not gonna wear this,
Of course.
right? I am gonna throw on my J's. You call them uptowns. I like that.
So I'm a youth pastor too.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Look at that. So I'm gonna. So I have a small collection of. I got ones. I got some of my. I got the Jordan 11. So I have a small collection, and so, as a stylish guy, we'll put a spin on an athleisure or kind of urban look that's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's all part of our journey. Is just like really like carving out, you know, what's my DNA going to be like? What's my brand? So like every time I show up, and you brought up a good point about travel.
Yeah.
I travel. I used pre-COVID. I traveled a lot too. Traveled internationally, you know, Europe, and you know, lots of places in Europe. And my personal philosophy is, yes, I'm on a plane. I'm sitting in this small box, but I'm going to look good. So that means you got to buy some pants with some tech, right? That stretch and that are
Yes.
comfortable, but you know, I'm still going to look stylish. I wear shoes that are comfortable. So even though these are full brogues, they're very comfortable.
Very nice.
I can walk in them, and I'm not gonna. So you know, I try to dispel that myth that you know you got to be in joggers and hoodie to be comfortable.
No, you don't.
You can look stylish and still be comfortable, still be functional. And so I think again, that's all part of our style DNA.
Well, I was going to add, like the shoes my man Mr. Parker's wearing, this is what you would probably ideally want to wear to the airport because it's easy on, easy off.
That is
You
true.
can slip through
Gotta
it,
get that
still look
TSA
good.
pre-check.
Yeah, lacing shoes up is totally
It's a lifesaver,
it's a nightmare. trying to do
But
that.
here's the thing about these shoes. That's a very bright orange, right? But if I walked into a store up here trying to find out what this store is. If I walked in there with a pair of brown loafers, maybe just a paisley tie, you say, okay, it's nice. But you walk in, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Right.
You're gonna say, what do you do? Like,
Right.
if you're curious, you're gonna have enough to ask, hey, what exactly mean that? I can say, well, I'm a Ralph Lauren brand ambassador, I got it, and I'm an English style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
Is that
shoes,
working?
the bright orange shoes with the standing joggers is what gonna make them say,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? and we was talking about earlier with me and especially Southern men, it's just a matter of having that confidence.
Absolutely.
I can put this on. Yeah, it's bright. Nobody else on this panel, I knew. Nobody else on this panel I have on. The last time I came, what I had on? I had on a pair of riding boots.
That is true. That is true.
Like I always have to do little things to make sure that I'm standing out without being outlandish.
Exactly.
But then the body language and all the other stuff, being able to interact so that people will come to me and say, hey, listen, blah, 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 blah.
And you're staying true to you.
Oh yeah, and that's what I tell. I always say that on my blog. Like whatever you're doing, make sure you still represent yourself.
That's it,
So
yes.
like if I go and this serves twofold. If I know I'm just leaving the house to run to the grocery store and the gas station and come back, I have a choice. I can put on a pair of joggers and a matching hoodie and do my thing. Or I can put on a pair of joggers, a hoodie over an Oxford with the tail hanging out, a bow tie, and instead of some sneakers, some boat shoes. And that little switch up right there might be the difference from me handing out 2 cards or no
Or
cards.
no cars allowed. Yes.
And you make a really good point because I do want to give some love to the athleisure lovers because I know you're out there and you're probably thinking we're hating. I promise you we're not. And I'll give you I'll give a similar example. So I have it's a kind of this color. It's a cream colored jogger and zip up top. I got it from Old Navy, like $40. But it's kind of the color they call it is oatmeal. So it's almost like a speckled. It's got the base color is cream, but it's got some darker brown.
Darker brown.
Exactly. I've got some chocolate brown white sole sneakers. So I was a totally casual outfit. Went to Chick-fil-A to get some lunch for my family. Walking in the door, young girl. She was like, "Oh, I like that look." I mean, it was well fitted. It was stylish. It looked intentional.
Right.
It looked intentional. We're gonna talk about that too, guys. My number one style tip, and I was gonna wait till the end, but I gotta tell you, and I'll tell you again: fit is everything.
It's all about the fit.
You can take something that most people would say wouldn't pay any attention to, a polo and a pair of chinos. Kind of people might see that as a stereotypical office wear, but you nail the fit on those chinos and that polo, and it's totally different, guys. So if you love athleisure, do that, but focus on fit and focus on intentionality. That's what I call it. Yes, you could throw on some big baggy pants, and if that's what you want to do you. Just like Mr. Parker said, do you. But do you with confidence. And if you do have a desire to kind of step outside of your comfort zone, think about fit first, but also think about how can I take what I have and just repurpose it.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Shifting them around.
Absolutely,
Shifting
absolutely.
I do that a lot.
So look, guys, let's keep going. We're talking about style in the workplace and talked a little bit about athleisure versus the the Dapper look. But before we go to our next subject, we are going to take a quick sponsor break.
Don't ride a switching lanes, candy paint dripping stains, gripping grain, 28 bolts on a lifted frame. This is what money looks like. 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 Color boys falling out, dropping what it's all about.
All right, guys, we are back. We've been having a great discussion with, again, my esteemed fellow panelists. We just got finished talking about style in the work environment. Now, what's great about this particular panelist, we have some people that are working in industry, we have some people that are entrepreneurs, and we've just basically agreed that, look, how you show up really matters. And it can make the difference between you handing out no cards and you handing out all the cards in your wallet. So the point is, we really, really believe that how you show up matters. And so let's talk a little bit further about that in terms of what people can do that are looking to maybe step up their game, right? Maybe they're working a 9 to 5, maybe they're an entrepreneur. So what are some of the tips, basic tips? Like if you were starting with a baby in style, what are some of the basic tips that you might give somebody that's just looking to just make a small step level change in their style? What are some basic tips? I'm gonna start with the business owner. I know he's got tips for us.
I think the first thing is to find at least 3 well-fitting shirts. The shirts for me are always the foundation of the ensemble, whatever it is that I'm putting together. But it makes all the difference when you have a nice tailored, if it's a white shirt, blue shirt, if it's a polo shirt, whatever it is, as long as it's a nice tailored shirt, it gives you that foundation that you need. As far as pants go, you always need blacks, grays, blues, and some tans. You need something that is going to allow you just to have a little range with your style. If I want to wear the polo with my tan chinos, my tan khakis, I can do that. If I want to wear this white shirt with these blue pants, I can do that. So there are some foundational building blocks as far as style is concerned. Those nice shirts. And for me, white shirts, you could never have enough white shirts.
Yes, amen.
You need at least 5.
Yes,
Absolutely.
One, because the shelf life on a white shirt
limited.
is very limited. It's like a running back in the NFL. The shelf life super limited.
Especially if you sweat.
Yeah, especially
man.
if you sweat. That ring around the neck
Yeah.
is killing.
It's dead.
With suits, as you're building a wardrobe as far as suits are concerned, my biggest thing, the care for a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Do not over dry clean your suits. Maybe 2 to 3 times a year, because you're not in the NFL. You're not running around in your suit, and if you are, you probably just should stick to athleisure.
Absolutely.
But 2 to 3 times a year, take it to the cleaners. The chemicals at the cleaners, they're very harsh, so sometimes you'll get that sheen where it's not supposed to have a sheen. If it's not a shark skin or something like that,
Right.
it's not supposed to have a sheen. So knowing how to care for your stuff is big with style.
Nice.
So having good fitting shirts, a selection of pants, and knowing how to care for your clothes, that's where I kind of push guys in, just kind of like in the kiddie pool, or, the wading pool,
Gotcha,
3 feet,
gotcha. Yeah,
put your
yeah.
feet in,
Get
get
your feet
acclimated.
wet, splash some water
Then we'll
around.
get to 4 feet, 5 feet. Then we
Absolutely.
jumping off the high diving board and whatnot. So those are my basic building blocks.
So for me, it's shoes. Most guys have a pair of black shoes and maybe a pair of dark brown shoes, and that's it. And that was me once upon a time. So for anybody starting out, I would say add tan into your repertoire. Tan, especially like an orange-based tan, is poppy, and it will immediately garner attention directly to like your entire ensemble.
Yes.
And we'll talk a little bit more about style rules later. Some I follow, some I like to bend, some I like to break. But one style rule that I like to kind of keep pretty consistent is matching leathers. So if you're going to buy a pair of tan shoes, go ahead and get you a nice tan leather belt. What tan does, I could be wearing, and I could have rocked tan with this. I could have done tan with my leathers, and it's just a pop of color and contrast that again starts to present you as somebody who cares, somebody who's paying attention to the little details. And again, so if you're used to wearing just, no matter what you wear, I'm gonna put on my black loafers, I'm gonna put on my black Oxfords, I'm gonna put on my dark brown. just stretch a little bit. Grab a pair of tan shoes, whether it's a pair of Oxfords, Derbies. If you're like me and love boots, a pair of tan brogues or cap toe, and you would be surprised how that's just gonna like instantly elevate your look. So that's my kind of, like you said, beginner's tip to kind of dip people's toe into the style journey. Mr. Parker.
Maybe about 5 years ago, one of my closest friends, like my brother, he had been, I guess he was, I don't know his company they were head at the time. He was working from home, but they were going back. He was going back in office, and he contacted me and said, "Hey man, like, you know, I lost a few pounds or whatever, and I never really been a fast, like, no, that's true, you've never been a, you know what I mean?"
Ain't no lies there.
Right, but it wasn't a corporate type gig, but it was an office gig, and he was like, "Man, can you just come through and just kind of like help me out?" I was like, "You know, I'm gonna charge you." He's like, "You know, I'm gonna pay you," because we, you know what I mean?
Listen,
keep it real.
Right. So I get over there a couple of days later, and I'm looking through everything, and I had him take out, before I got there, I had him take out whatever didn't fit anymore. And when I looked in this closet, I was like, I looked, I said, "Well, dude, all you need is a navy blue blazer. You're good." And I tell all my clients that, like my clients that are starting from scratch, and you know, I repeat it on my vlog often. The first thing you want, especially if you're trying to do the Ralph Lauren lifestyle, is a navy blue blazer, preferably with gold buttons.
Yeah.
I have, when you talk about white shirts, I have 5 navy blue blazers. 3 of them have gold buttons. You don't have to have the gold buttons, but you have to have a navy blue blazer in your closet. That, from there you can build, because again, all of this is style and fashion. He has on distressed jeans. He has on a full suit. He has on a nice pair of slacks and a sports coat. But any of these looks with a navy blue blazer, you can build from that. You know what I mean? So it's almost like fashion for dummies. The navy blue blazer.
What you got? Did we take them all?
Well, see, mine was shoes actually, and see, I look at it from a different perspective in terms of starting with shoes. To me, and we all know this, ladies, they check your shoes first. First thing they notice when they see you. You got on run over shoes, you out of there.
Gotta be
So
fresh.
or anyone for that matter, the first thing people look at is your shoes. They look at your feet and they say, if you take care of a really, really good pair of shoes, and what I tell people to do, and to me this breaks the mold of being, I guess, bracketed in so much, because people, they'll go out and buy the Jordans and stuff like that. Only guys like us will go out and actually spend a decent penny on some nice dress shoes. But I tell young guys this: if you can spend $200 on the new retros, get you a really nice pair of dress shoes to start off with. Get you some Allen Edmonds or some Aldo's, Alden's, Spear McKay, whatever you can get a really good pair of dress shoes. And then I like to begin from the bottom up. I go from the shoes to the pants to the shirts, and if they're jackets, overcoats, and all of that, you can basically play with it. Like Mr. Parker said, you can go navy, can hit anything. Right. And I do it based upon, personally, I do it based on the season. So if I run across a guy that's wintertime, I'm going to tell him to get a winter-based palette. So start with a pair of dress shoes, or your browns, or if you don't have a pair of black, you have a pair of black ones. But go there, and then you know your Chelsea boots and all that good stuff. You want to play off of the suede Chelseas. You kind of go that way, and as spring rolls around, you kind of go more like what my man Mr. Parker's wearing, and you kind of roll it in like what my man Julio's wearing. It's like a moccasin type of loafer. Yeah. So yeah, horse bit. You go with a nice horse bit because you can get that nice cool air with no-show socks or something like that. See, that's the way to go. And if you tell young guys, if you start rocking it and they see the responses that you're getting when you're wearing it versus when they're wearing it, their stuff becomes more so common practice. Absolutely. When you see street stuff. You see street stuff every day. But just put a twist on it and make people say,
now,
that's what I'm
I just want to say that I want to say you put this in my head, but men and women are the complete opposite when it comes to style and fashion. We might be an anomaly, maybe a little bit. Women, when they get dressed, they usually get dressed to impress who? Other women.
They want them to be like, oh, okay.
Men, when we get dressed, we usually get dressed to impress women. Ladies, if your husband or significant other doesn't dress to your satisfaction, talk to him, let him know.
Yeah.
Because we don't do anything for us. It's all for y'all. We could live in a box. We don't care nothing about houses and apartments at the end of the day. If it's just all men walking around this planet, we don't care about impressing each other.
Nope.
So, hooping shorts and Chuck Taylors and the cheapest T-shirt, man. That's what we would all have. So, women, if your significant other isn't dressing to your satisfaction, you have to talk to them and be tactful about it. Don't be rude, but let them know. Like, I know this guy. I saw this guy on Instagram, or I passed by this store the other day that I want to take you to. But, most men will be receptive.
You know what's crazy? A lot of the grooms that I get come to me because their fiancés saw our page.
Wow.
You go see him.
Yeah, like literally. And I'm like, it blew my mind because like I dress how I dress. Like my wife, I know she loves how I dress, and like I definitely dress for her. But like for me being from New York, like it was always every time you stepped out, you had to step out like. Cause you was gonna
know about New York,
they were gonna talk about you crazy. Like
Right.
I remember in 5th grade, I was borrowing my cousin's sneakers so that I could still look good in 5th grade.
Right.
I was 10,
Right.
10 years old. But it's amazing to hear these men say that their ladies told them to come. But that's
It's so true.
yeah, I can definitely second that because it's happened more than once in our business that my fiance found you. I would have had no idea. Like a couple of my guys don't even have Instagram.
Yeah.
So they would have no idea unless they did a Google search.
Right.
But it was their fiance that brought them in. So
Yeah.
All three of y'all are married, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Blink twice if every time you go somewhere you kill your wife when it comes to dress. I don't want you to say it out loud. Say that. And a lot of women, do you find that women have a problem with that? Have any of y'all before marriage?
Let me talk about now.
Okay.
Me and my wife have a policy. We're going somewhere, I will ask her, what are you wearing? Why are you asking me? Because I have to dress up to your level.
Right.
So if she's gonna wear tennis shoes, I'm wearing she's wearing sneakers, I'm wearing sneakers.
You have to.
If she puts on a sweater, I'm not gonna put on like joggers, and so I will always match her.
Right.
That is and so it kills me because again, I know I'm not trying to say, well, you got to dress, but my thing is, guys, first of all, match your girl, match your lady. That's a minimum. That's a minimum.
Because I'm the one that talks about you when I see you.
I will talk about it.
And not only that, it's gonna be a dude out there that's dressed better than you, especially if she's not your wife.
She might be eyeballing it.
He is going to catch her eye. Trust and believe.
But I want to talk about what you said, how influential women you are. You have the power.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell my teenage girls this. Like, guys won't do anything that you won't let them do.
Right.
And so the way my wife got me early on, is she's like, hey, babe, I bought you this red sweater. This is when I didn't wear red. I'm like, okay. She's like, I think you would look great in that.
Subtle hints.
What did that do in my head? I'm like, my babe think I'm gonna look good in this?
Now you got 30 red.
Now I got red blazers. That's all it takes, ladies. And like he said, be subtle. Don't say, oh God, I wish you would dress like him. Don't ever tell a guy that you wish he would dress like another guy.
Sin.
That's a cardinal sin. Exactly. But what you do is say, hey, that's an awesome jacket that guy has on. I bet you would look awesome in that too. Or I bet you'd look awesome in something similar to that. Or maybe just bring in something that you because you guys know, you ladies know our sizes. You know our sizes. Bring something in, see how he likes it.
Right.
My wife got me like that, and she helped to create the monster that I am today. Because she kept bringing things in, and before she knew it, I was out of control.
Right.
That's how it is.
Yep.
Something else is when you add now. In my particular situation, I like to add a bag. I'm a bag man. All the different. Yeah, I can tell. I saw you. I peeped your stuff there. I like bags, and I try to match bags with some of the attire that I have. You can't hit it all because you can't have so many bags unless you meet. But you try to you want to fit it in there the best way you can. So when you're walking around, laptop, it's sometimes in a leather backpack, or maybe it's in a tote or something like that, or some type of a briefcase, leather brief, and you just throw that with that leather or canvas look. My man has got a canvas / leather look. That hits a whole lot different when you rock it with a suit or rock it with a nice look.
You know what's crazy? We make leather goods too.
Ooh,
I like this guy.
See you, brother.
come
And we
on,
make
man.
custom shoes.
Oh man, you need to stop.
So if you need a bag, if you want to become a bag man, come holla at me.
Get the bag, right?
I'm gonna come
Come on, get the bag.
Get the bag.
Everybody's getting the bag.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody is getting
We
the
all
bag.
get the bag. Yeah.
So good talk so far, guys. Let's shift a little bit. Let's talk about accessories, right?
Okay.
Accessories are big because, you know, I look at, for example, a blazer as a blank canvas. Most people, the average guy might throw on a jacket and say, hey, I'm dressed up now. That's it. That's all I'm doing. But I think there's so much more. And a lot of times we probably think of accessories, you know, that's lady stuff. You know, they've got their earrings and they've got all their bangles and bracelets and necklaces. But I swear, guys, I think there's such a market for guys to accentuate what the clothes are doing with great accessories. So I'm gonna ask you, what is your number one accessory? I wanna go first. My number one accessory is my watch. Is my watch.
I already knew that.
And you knew that. But what's cool about a watch is everybody has their own style of watch. But there's something about a watch that catches your eye. I've had so many compliments. If it wasn't about shoes, it was about my watch. I don't know how many of you all have done this, but raise your hand if you've turned around because you didn't have a watch on. Yeah, turn around and head back.
Oh yeah.
I know women do that about earrings. So for me, I have to have a watch. I will clutch my wrist and feel weird and feel naked if I don't have a watch. And it's honestly so little about timekeeping. It's more about, look, this is a statement on my wrist. This is artwork on my wrist. I hate the fact that automatic watches, the most beautiful portion of them is slapped to my wrist. The case back where you can see the movement. That is so beautiful to me. And so I see watches as just artwork for your wrist and definitely a style statement. So I try to keep a nice variety and a nice collection of different watches, matching to my look or my mood. So yeah, for me, it's all about watches. That's like my number one accessory that I never leave home with. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
You go first. No, go ahead. Yeah.
For me, it's the sunglasses. I see my man's got his up there. Shades to me, man, I have to have me a pair of shades. Now, if you're lucky to find the right kind, it could actually play off of your watch. You do that a lot. 'Cause I know you rock a lot of the wood base.
Yes, sir.
So
The
you
wooden
look
watch.
at his, he's got the wood grain frames. I mean, yeah.
The earlier watch I had on earlier with
That would kill that. That's what I was thinking. When I saw that, I thought of you. I said, man, he would probably see. And I think the sunglasses can really fit based upon whichever style you choose. Will go with whatever type of outfit, more formal or laid back type of frame or whatever have you. So yeah, that's nice.
I like all accessories. I have a plethora of belts, bags, eyewear, but my actual best accessory and favorite accessory and accessory that I never go out without having on and it being proper is my beard. My beard. Because
It's
one,
important, man.
isn't it?
Beer game.
Rolex, Patek, everybody can't afford a watch like that. Well, guess what? Everybody can't grow a beard.
That's true.
That is true.
Everybody can't
Very
grow a
true.
beard. I think the worst thing a man could ever do is try to grow a beard and then go out in public with patches of hair on his face.
My soul
And
hurts.
somebody like F-Bo over here, this is F-Bo, flyest beard on earth. That's why F-Bo. I'm sure that hurts his heart because it hurts mine to see it. And you wake up in the morning, maybe your beard ain't copacetic, but I ain't going anywhere without at least moisturizing and combing my beard because it's also a conversation piece. And it's the one that I'm stuck with.
It ain't going to do.
Right.
Quick point. My wife has forbade me from shaving any of this. It's not a lot. I'm gonna have as much as you guys, but she says do not minimize beyond this.
Right.
I mean, I've gotten threats bothering me. You know how I don't know if you guys ever shave and like mess up a bit, because you guys have fuller beards, you can probably cover it up. But if I mess up a little bit, like,
You might have to
Cut the whole thing off.
man, I've got the look. She's
Hey,
like,
how
you
you
come
doing
see
today?
me in a week when that's back.
But you know what the thing is that a lot of women identify having a beard as being a man.
Yeah.
My mother, who is a hell of a woman, like my mom is spectacular. She has said in front of everybody in the family, including my cousin who is barefaced, I don't trust a man without hair. And she's dead serious. Like she will not. My dad had a beard.
Man, I don't know.
That's
My
serious.
dad had a beard the whole time they were married. So it's just that's something that a lot of women. If you ain't got some type of facial hair, they're not even.
You're not messing.
Yeah.
You're not messing around.
They look at you.
That's
little
what-
side.
Like, why can't you grow hair?
Yeah,
Right.
like what's going on?
What's wrong with
What you got that you can't grow hair?
Right. What's happening?
Mhm.
What you got for us?
For me, my bracelets. So two things. My bracelets. I always gotta have some type of wrist wear.
Yes.
As far as bracelets are concerned, I've gotten real bad with watches because I've got this Apple Watch and like I just changed my watch band. Literally
Yeah.
changed my watch band to suit my needs. So
Mhm.
got a metal one on today. I might have an acrylic one on tomorrow just
Yeah.
because it's a little bit more dressed down. So I can't even count that as an accessory because it's just this is functionality.
Tools.
Right.
Tools.
So my bracelets for sure. And then when I'm dressed down, what I love are my fitteds. My fitted hats.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
I guess it might be stereotypical since I'm from New York.
I wouldn't say stereotypical, but it is because you were in New York.
Yeah, so, but it's not a Yankee fitted.
Right.
Mets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it.
This is a little bit different. And like, my wife will tell you, over the pandemic, I went even crazier. I probably added like 60 new hats.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was bad. She had to have a little intervention with me, like, babe, if I
We
see
gotta
another
talk.
hat box come in here,
We gotta
we're gonna
talk.
have a problem. Just like
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you shaved your
Yeah.
While she was sneaking Amazon packages in the back door.
I just got an
Everybody.
Amazon package today. I'm like, where did this come from?
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah,
You see them
my
piling up in there.
listen. So my bracelets, and then I gotta have the New York Mets fitted, whatever flavor it is, because I like to dress down a lot too. In my spare time, since we're 3 kids, I can't always have on a suit. 'Cause
Right.
God forbid one of them get something on the suit, it's me and them. And I don't,
It's on.
it's not a fair fight.
Right.
Even though my oldest is 10,
Right.
and I'm already short, so like he's almost at eye level.
Mhm.
So like I still gotta
Yeah, you gotta
still
get in there.
Yeah.
I let him know.
Night night.
My right hook is deadly, my left jab,
That's
comes
trust
in
me.
quick. So
My kids are grown. My son, matter of fact, this is a fashion point too. My son kept coming in the house. He was 18, 17. And at 17, he was my height. He kept coming in the house with his pants sagging. And my son was lanky at the time. He didn't wear slim fitted jeans like I did. He wore skinnies.
Oh.
So finally he came in one day, and I guess maybe I had a bad day. I got right here to him. I said, bro, you want to fight? Come in here again with your butt hanging out like that. Bro. I'm tired of it. I done told you what it means. I done told you what it stands for. Don't disrespect me like that again.
That's right.
And me and him, he's the firstborn. We was always able to laugh and joke, but he knows when it's
Face to
dad.
face is on.
So you ain't got to worry about 18 years old. He could be 6, 7.
You'll take them.
I hope so because I don't want to work for the rest of my life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he's 6, 7. He's
making some money.
one of the leads.
Right.
If he plays baseball,
Right.
he can get a
Yeah,
big
Quiet
picture,
as
man.
kept. That's the best sport to play.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Play baseball, get that guaranteed money,
Right.
big contract.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Again, guys, great conversation. We're almost nearing the end, but we're going to take a really quick break to talk about some upcoming events. All right, guys, we're back. Almost done. We've had an amazing time talking about some great topics. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to do a little quick fire, this or that. So I'm just going to go around the horn, hit you up with 2 choices. You tell me what your favorite is. All right, we ready? See who I'm gonna start with. My man here. Cap toe or Chelsea?
Cap toe.
Why?
I just like a cleaner, more polished look. Chelsea's are cool. I own a couple of pair, but a cap toe, yeah. Just a cleaner look to me.
Roger that, roger that. Julio, notch or peak?
Notch.
Tell me why. First of all, explain for the people the difference between a notch lapel and a peak lapel.
So if you see what I have on, this is a notch lapel, so it kind of has like a little notch on the inside. A peak lapel would be like that there, which has like a mountain peak.
Right.
So that's the difference between it. I think I like the notch just because that's what I was more used to wearing. So it's been just like a staple of mine, even when I do my double-breasted. Normally a double-breasted jacket would have a peak lapel, but I just don't like that. I don't know. I didn't like that peak look, so I think for me the notch is a little more cleaner, and just a little bit more subtle.
Nice. Tie or no tie?
I'm coming around to the no tie.
Okay.
The no tie has been, as of late, a chosen methodology or MO. So it's more or less. Of course, you grow up thinking you have to have a tie if you wear a suit.
Yeah.
You never really understand how to downplay it without
Right.
one. You don't know how to really play that when you're in your early 20s or whatever,
Exactly.
unless you're around guys like this.
Right.
But I've always embraced the tie and then the bow tie. But then as I came into my own a little bit more and started understanding style and different types of fabrics or whatever have you, the no tie kind of flipped off a little bit. Yeah. So
And if you're gonna do no tie, please wear a V-neck t-shirt,
there we go.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
not a crew neck t-shirt.
And if you have
Crew
chest
neck, you
hair,
can see
comb it.
everything.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
have
Crew
chest
neck.
hair, comb your brush.
And let me give you guys a pro tip. If you're gonna wear undershirt, wear a skin tone undershirt because it will blend in under a white dress shirt.
Yes.
Don't wear a white wife beater. Don't do that because it's gonna show through.
Yep.
So that's a pro tip from me to you.
You're welcome.
All right, low tops, high tops.
Low tops. I like plain leather sneakers and plain canvas sneakers because I don't wear sneakers that much, but when I do, that's what I like. So low top.
Got it.
Yes.
I didn't see one, but I'm gonna ask you patch pockets or I can't remember it. These pockets. Turn around.
Honestly, I'm more into the patch pocket now. It's a lot more versatile. You can dress up or dress down the patch pocket. I don't know if there's a
I have patch pockets.
patch.
So,
yeah. So this is
so
a
these
patch
are-
pocket.
These are patch
I like
pockets.
patch
Yeah.
A patch pocket, and there are different types of patch pockets too. So you can have the ones that
They have a
button,
flat
flat
over
with
them,
a
yeah.
button. So I like the patch pocket now.
Me too.
I like that.
Yeah.
Patch pockets. Way to go.
Let's see. Polo or V-neck?
Polo, I would say. Polo, you have more of a wide variety of things to pair with, in my opinion. with a polo. You can do V-neck, but polo is the way to go.
Crew neck or Henley?
Henley. Henley because that's a more versatile look. You can dress up or dress down a Henley. Yeah. Crew necks, for me, I when I see a crew neck, I automatically think just dress down.
Yeah.
There's no way for me. I mean, there is a way for me to dress it up.
Yeah.
But that Henley gives me that dress shirt feel. I can open up the buttons, or I can close them up. But either way, it gives me a more versatile
A
look.
little bit more versatile.
Yeah.
All right, now I need a couple of rapid fire questions. Hit me.
Watch or bracelet?
Obviously a watch. You can do a lot with a watch. The cool thing is you can do both. So you can have
That's true.
a matching watch and bracelet. And
Nope.
so I like to do that a lot of times, especially with the wooden watches. Great thing about wood is it's from the earth, just like the leather that you wear around your waist or on your feet, and so those color tones match beautifully.
Yes, we do.
So you can do some cool things with wood. But yeah, watches all the way.
You said you were gonna mention this earlier, so I'm just gonna. I know the answer. 5 pocket, slant pocket.
Thank you for reminding me. 5 pocket, and it's a personal reason. So let me break it down for you. A lot of times when I wear slant pockets, just because of the way I'm built, I'm athletically built, so I have big thighs, and my family, we got a little junk in the back. And for that reason, a lot of times when I put on dress trousers that have slant pockets, it bulges. So if you've ever seen the bulge, and it drives me absolutely mad. Probably worse than anybody else would even notice. But for me, when I look to the side and I see that bulge, it just drives me absolutely crazy.
Elephant ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
With 5 pockets, it's the classic jean, you know. But you'll see this in a lot of chinos. You'll see it in a lot of what I call traveler pants.
Right.
And it's, to me personally, it's so much more versatile. I can dress this up. I can, you know, I've worn 5 pocket pants, and depending on the cut or depending on the fabric, if it's a lighter fabric, it will wear and drape just like a dress trouser. A lot of people are into pleating and so forth. I'm not so much into pleating. I just like a really clean, flat front, and the 5 pocket pants helps me with that. And so probably 90% of my pants are 5 pocket.
Messenger or briefcase?
Ooh, briefcase. In my opinion, briefcase. I like there's one that some of these higher end ones carry this, but I'm pretty sure you could probably make one. They carry these. Coach makes one that's got the little lock that comes with it. You ever seen that? The little security lock.
I have one from Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, okay, the same. I like that little. It's like the travel airport luggage when it comes together, you put the lock in it. I like that. The Messenger is cool, but to me, it offers no security because I carry a lot of valuables a lot of the time, so I like that little lock on my leather brief is the way for me.
Okay, nice. Let's wrap up by doing a few name drops. So give me kind of a couple of your, I know what your go-to brand is, but beyond Polo Ralph Lauren, there is none.
There is no other.
There is no other. A little depressed.
But then she felt me, but then she said something that almost put her out. She's like, you know, at this point, you can buy anything and people don't think it's Ralph Lauren. What?
But you'll know.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah. But I guess to wrap it up, I would just like to say that, you know, if you don't follow the brand and lifestyle Ralph Lauren like that, they just launched a major campaign where they're in conjunction with Morehouse College and Spelman College. They're doing a complete line. Wow. And of course, let me throw this in right quick. I had somebody do my analytics. 61% of my followers on Instagram are white. 22% are African American, and the rest is overseas, which is mostly Japan. The 22% that are African American, the overwhelming majority of those folk are from New York. So you know about the low end and low life culture, right? All right. So a lot of those people were complaining off the gate. Oh, it seems like pandering to me, or oh, it's about time. First of all, James Jeter, who was head of one of the heads in the style department, this is his baby. He went to Morehouse. This is his. The filming, everything, he's responsible for. So there's no pandering to it. A lot of Ralph's people, when he was first coming up, were black, since he was no longer allowed to say African American.
Tyson.
Right, who made an appearance at the show the other night. But bottom line is that's going to be a great thing, and as long as it's patronized well, they will do other schools.
That's nice.
They also started the BAC, which is the Black Advisory Council, which is run by a black woman. The entire council is black people that work in corporate, and you know it's just what you probably think it is. It's just to make sure that because all these other companies practicing an outrage marketing, and we still patronize them, but that's for a whole nother show. I'm not gonna get on that. I'm not gonna get on y'all right now. That's never been the goal at Ralph Lauren. And diversity, inclusion, all of that across the board, especially on the corporate level, is paramount. In the fashion industry, you're gonna always have a few pretentious people. I say that part. But just understand that, you know, Ralph Lauren is trying to be as diverse as possible. And it's always been that way. It's just that now you have social media, so these things need to be brought to the forefront. Me personally, March 29th, when this Morehouse, and I went to North Carolina A&T, and I'm from Durham, and Central was my Morehouse. I'm getting me a Morehouse sweater. I don't know if y'all seen these pieces, but
They fire.
yeah,
They're fine. I've seen a couple of them.
They
They're
are.
nice.
yes.
They do it. They do it.
Well, look, guys, we're almost at the end. We're going to each take about 30 seconds just to say our final words. But again, I just want to say thank you to you guys. This has been amazing. This is my first time moderating. It's been a lot of fun. Again, I want to thank our host, location, Bonobos, for having us here. Again, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Concord Fashion Week. That's going to be my goodbye. I'll give you guys 20, 30 seconds just to say final words before we wrap up.
Had an amazing time. Definitely loved building with you guys. So yeah, if you need any type of custom clothing, hit us up at Troop and Bell on Instagram, troop-bell.com. Hit me up, send me a DM. I will answer. So yeah, we'll be able to get you together. But I definitely enjoyed my time here. So thanks for the invite.
Well, everyone, it's been a pleasure sitting down with the collective here. Learned a lot of new things that I wasn't so up on. It's been an amazing opportunity to grasp different ideas and things like that to take forward into the style palette, whatever have you. You can follow me on Instagram at EL_Sue, SUI_Juris, JURIS. And if you're, of course, in the need for business funding, large project funding, commercial development funding, that's my neck of the woods. So that's
Pro
pretty much
bono?
all I got.
My new best friend.
Right.
Take us over.
As always, it's a pleasure. I do this for y'all. I do this for the culture, but most importantly, I do it for Alicia. Anything she ever needs from me, she knows she got it. It was a pleasure to meet y'all. I will follow back. I apologize for not following back earlier. I'm Mr. Parker 1967 on Instagram. Seamless Style is the name of my vlog. It comes out every Sunday. I'm normally good about putting it out by noon. And I got some things in the works, but in this social media era, it's about the numbers. So I need to run the numbers up.
Follow.
So I need y'all to, you know, put it on repeat. Go run your errands. Do all that stuff you gotta do. Just let it keep repeating.
Just let it run.
And like I always say on my vlog, artists paint pictures and haters paint narratives, so don't be no hater. Congratulations.
With that, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We are out. Again, thanks again. And do not forget the Saturday show.
We're
That was dope. And that's another episode in the books. Episode 100 is in the books, gentlemen. We did it. I'm not gonna. It's too many people to name. I just want to thank everyone who has supported this channel. Some from day one, some from episode 98, 99, the most recent BTS. Doesn't matter. I appreciate each and every one of you. There are definitely some gentlemen that I want to shout out, but I'm gonna shout them out on a personal level, either through a text or DM. You know, there's a few gentlemen that consistently donate to the channel, whether it's pay for services, whether it's just a donation for support, whether it's a retweet or a repost on Instagram, whatever the case may be. Those gentlemen will be hearing from me in the next 48 hours. I just want to sincerely thank you guys personally. I don't want to shout your names out here because, hey, man, you could be on the run. You could be on the run or something. Nah, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know, you know. Some people are shy about stuff like that. They rather stay incognito. So I will be reaching out to those gentlemen, man, because without you guys, and you know, it's nothing against anybody who hasn't done these things like they have, but without you guys in particular and specifically, the channel definitely would have suffered. So I appreciate y'all, and you will hear from me within the next 48. So how did y'all like the episode? How did y'all like the men's Dapper panel? I wish those microphones that they had were just a tad bit amped up some. There was some parts in there where maybe you couldn't hear what I was saying, but if you want to put on some AirPods, you'll definitely be able, because when I was editing, I could hear it loud and clear, but then before I posted the video, I listened to it without the earbuds, and I could tell that some of it was a little muffled, just because, when you're relaxed and you're talking, you're talking what you talk, your voice fluctuates. Plus, I have a deep voice, so sometimes, it's just really muffled sometimes when I'm really relaxed and just really talking my shit. So I wish they would have had the mics up a little louder, but otherwise, I think it came out pretty well. Again, those gentlemen, Julio, Derek, those gentlemen, it's great to meet you guys, and definitely will be networking and polo ticking with you guys in the future. I'll put their Instagram handles on the screen if you are interested in reaching out, following them. I think Julio makes custom suits, among other things. He's a hustler by nature, because he made it a point to shout out everything his business is capable of doing. I thought that was very intelligent. I mean, anytime you have a business, you have to be your business's number one fan. You have to shout that business out every chance you get, and just let people know, I'm here and this is what I do. So, episode 100, without being a pretentious douchebag, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of y'all. I'm humbled by this experience so far, and we're going to keep it moving. Episode 101 is going to be fantastic. Y'all going to love it. And don't hold me to this. Don't hold me to this. But I don't feel like I'm going to slow down a whole lot over the summer months. I feel like I'm going to find a way to keep production and keep producing. Don't hold me to it. If I miss a week, I don't want to get flooded with DMs. Parker, what the fuck, man? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Don't hold me to this, but I feel like I'm not going to slow down as much this summer as I have previous summers, because there's still so much to touch on. And we're in the middle of April. There's still a lot to be touched on. End of April, I'm going to have a great episode. Majority of it will be on location. So keep your eyes and your ears open for that. I think you'll really enjoy that as well. All right? Get in the comment section, man, and tell me what you thought about the men's Dapper panel. And just, I don't know, man. Just I thank y'all, man. I really thank you guys, everybody, for just, supporting the channel, man. And we're going to continue to grow and get bigger. All right? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and tell a friend that we just hit 100. 100. Uno, cero, cero. We just hit the century mark. All right? Artists paint pictures, and haters, y'all know what they paint, right? They paint narratives. So don't be no hater. All right? Y'all have a good one.